I said part 2. This is part B, you idiot. Well, since you're here, 4's 44, the 40th episode there is. We begin with the green-eyed man proclaiming that the space clone of Excitable Girl is to be his inappropriately underage girlfriend, and together they shall go into the depths of space to find the one he calls the presenter, whom I'm assuming is Uncle Scrooge, the birthday-obsessed rich guy from Kamen Rider 000, because being birthday-obsessed he loves presents, you see. The green-eyed man and Excitable Doppelganger buzz off then abouts, but Excitable Girl Prime's got troubles. See, she's kinda got a Mike Myers mask growing out of her face. It's just one of those things that happens when your doppelgangers out too long. You switch faces, and then a lot of hilarious misunderstandings happen, and you wind up framed for attempted murder. So for having this Mike Myers mask, she runs away from her friends, whom she hated earlier for distrusting her, and off to Irony Bridge, which is also where her doppelganger happened to run. And the doppelganger has grown an Excitable Girl face over her Mike Myers mask, which is some coincidence. But it's a small world, I suppose, and leaving us to ponder on that, an intro, or more accurately, a spliced promotion for another damn movie, which Splice introduces us to the sight of Excitable Girl's clone creepily nuzzling the green-eyed man's leg, his awkwardly raised leg, which appears to hide an erection of evil. Orko's there too, prompting the green-eyed man to berate him. "You know teenage girls and their demon made manifest? That Orko is the most boring space monster I've ever known. He doesn't hear voices in his head isn't made of ice cream, and he doesn't even do some quirky stuff like fondle chestnuts." Orko thinks to himself concerned-like, "Oh man, this makes me start to wonder if our evil commander really loves me for myself or is just using me for his vaguely evil goals."
"I hear ya, sister."
Meanwhile, later, Team Fjordsengard's searching high and low in the orange-tinted district for Excitable Girl. They explain to themselves that Donna Troy's not there because he's in a coma, because during that last fight he got hit by a tiny explosion which turned him into a pussy. Realizing that he's the only character who can bullshit the plot along now, Boring Douchebag steps up.
"The green-eyed man mentioned a presenter, which I believe is this show's code for God. I also believe that the voice of Space God is what makes people turn into space monsters. I also believe that I can pull stuff out of my ass and have it turn into kamen."
We're just left to assume Team Fjordsengard accepted all that, even though it came out of nowhere and didn't make any kind of sense and completely ruins the whole drug metaphor with the space switches turning people into space monsters. No, Boring Douchebag has a feeling, so Space God is reaching through a space hole that was once sealed by PlayStation buttons, mind, and he's been tempting the students and faculty of a space-themed high school to turn into space monsters and come visit him. And all of this work, I'm forced to assume, is because God needs a spaceship. And that's the plot of the show now. I can't imagine why they rushed to the next scene instead of letting that sink in. Well, I guess now we see Excitable Girl's clone stealing her life and living in her place for the life stealing. Excitable Girl peers in through the window like a lost puppy, but her parents are too focused on mugging to notice. Her clone does see her though, so she sneaks off to have the "look, this is how identity theft works, I'm not gonna give you your life back" talk. And besides, all your friends are gonna think I'm the real one, 'cause I have the evil space monster switch. "Oh yeah, well I'll just take that switch and run outside. Yoink!"
"Hey look, it's that evil space monster chick. Her switch confirms it, so I believe we should kill her."
Ah, balls. And so, for mixing up the ego with the altar, Team Fjordsengard sets out to murder Excitable Girl. They of course take a grim attitude for having to snuff out a new life form to protect their friend's identity. No, they just chant imposter and bully Excitable Girl until she panics into switching forms and starts crying, which is when Fjordsengard actually starts to kill her, with his friend Captain S cheering from the sidelines. What's he sound like? Let's say Vernon.
"Good. Release your chainsaw foot on the crying girl."
But once again, high in his sense of importance, Boring Douchebag tells Fjordsengard to stop. Or more accurately,
"Stop, I guess. 'Cause today is a Freaky Friday, so maybe that's not the monster we're looking for."
Seeing that her jig wasn't really at all up yet, the real doppelganger jumps over to grab her space switch and teleport away. Fjosengard turns around now to find the other excitable girl is also gone, because she's Batman on the side and can do that when people turn around. Rolling with the shitting on excitable girl tone of the episode, Vincent Vega finds her and tells her she's going to be a blood sacrifice for the god of space. Also, he does not turn around, so she can't escape with her leprechaun powers and she gets kidnapped. Luckily, my main man, who's 2% ham, Hot Dog Robot, is on the scene. He shows our heroes what just went down using his live feed, which causes J.K. Rowling to flip out. If these things have always had a live feed, why the hell didn't we know who the ice cream head man lady was? Luckily, being on the other side of the screen has given Fjosengard an idea. Or more accurately, two parts of a flashback stuck together because they couldn't pace it out. In the flashback, young Fjosengard, or some kid without a pompadour I'm gonna assume he stole the life of, is cheering up a young, excitable girl. I don't think you're crazy at all, crazy chick who hears voices in her head. In fact, tell you what, when I grow up to be the star of a high school romantic comedy anime, I'll let you be my childhood friend tag. Will you go into space with me too? Yeah, okay, whatever. Squee! Here, take this chest thing in case I forget and you need to remind me of our eternal friendship bond. How do you eat that shit up? The flashback ends thereabouts, and Fjosengard takes several minutes to piece together what it meant. Fjosengard! I believe he's dead. So, what do we do now? Nazi breakdancing competition? Just throwing it out there. Oh my god, my hair used to suck. Wait, guys. So I just remembered something that'll probably get me laid with excitable girl, even though I hacked her up with a chainsaw earlier. So let's say we all go to my place and you can help me look for it. But shouldn't we be looking for where she was kidnapped? Damn it, Rowling, do you want me to score at the end of this or not? Oh, well, I do suppose it's bros before hoes. And so, led on by Fjosengard to his place, the team's entreated to a brief cameo of his grandpa. His grandpa reminds us that Fjosengard lives with his grandpa. Also, for lack of other things to do, Grandpa does an impression of boring douchebag. I believe that rifling through the house is sorting the album of life, he pones. Meanwhile, later, also at a crap Stonehenge replica, Team Evil is setting up Excitable Girl for that blood sacrifice what was mentioned. Hamburger Robot happens by, cause it seemed like a logical place it would be looking to a hamburger. So Team Fjosengard teleports to the scene within moments. The rest of the team showing up before Fjosengard that his entrance might be dramatic. The team is subdued by the Green-Eyed Man's force powers, which let's just say he has now. An excitable doppelganger starts to laugh hysterically, or continues to, as she's been doing for days. Ever since she saw the Green-Eyed Man's penis, come think of it. Despite the painful acting mode they're in, Team Fjosengard Shatners out a collective, excitable girl. Don't give in to that imposter. But Excitable Girl has come to realize that she and her double are one and the same. Fine, I'm you and you're me already, even though you're a bitch and I'd never wear that gaudy black skirt. So then her persona turns into a huge freaky boss and... No? You're sure? Huh. Okay, well, Fjosengard shows up at a pretty underwhelming moment to remind Excitable Girl of their friendly friendship bonds using the friendship box he was given as a child. You remember, that was established in this episode 10 minutes ago. Back when Excitable Girl thought a friend box had to be a literal thing. Oh my gosh, you held on to that? That's so creepy! I mean, you're way creepier than I am. I'm done with this Mike Myers stuff. And so, by the power of hair and editing, her Mike Myers mask clears up. And also gets stuck once again on her double, who villainously complains, "No, this can't be happening. I was born from the darkness in your heart, and I thought teens loved that shit." Well, yeah, but wasn't that Kyknos the Swan Hero's origin? Oh my god, you're right. I can't compare to that guy. Look, let's just fight so you can kill me already. So Fjosengard fights Excitable Girl too, Doppelboogaloo, but the Green-Eyed Man has finally gotten off his ass to smack Fjosengard down. He then leaves the rest of the work to Vega because... reasons that make perfect sense if you're a pedophile Jiminy Cricket space monster. So Vega reminds us that he has the power to recycle different costumes by turning into Terry Bogard. But his Bogard attack gets deflected by some strange energy around boring douchebag. This douche phenomenon isn't explained, but I'm assuming it means boring douchebag is a star child that'll get written out of the show next episode. Better late than never. For boring douchebag's astounding display of being useful, the other villains forget they exist for a minute, giving Fjorsengard a clear shot to kick excitable clones at... No. Okay, Donna Troy shows up really quick to give Fjorsengard his power switch thing that he can use Troy's powers to beat the explosions that sent Troy in a coma. I know, it's almost over, alright? So, powered up now, Fjorsengard does his thing where he rips through time and space to minimize collateral damage while he mutilates his foe, doubtless creating a black hole in the process, but Doctor Who can deal with that crap. And with that done, it's pretty much over. Team Fjorsengard's back to normal, and the other villains leave per their arrangement to leave whenever the Arkley villain is out of the picture. So, all's well and good in the world. Except our hero may have sort of sliced into an innocent girl with his chainsaw foot and Wolverine claws. But she's not gonna report it, so it's okay. And that was the arc, so what did we learn? Bottle up and suppress your base desires. Everything will turn out great. Also, God makes people into space junkies. Also, if something doesn't work and you give it to someone else out of spite, they will manage to make it work somehow. Next time it's Forze's sordid affair. The running out of twists crisis. Or else it's Forze's savage sword in full color. Till then, good night and get ready, Pasta Wolf!